Expertos venezolanos condenaron el reciente despliegue militar de Estados Unidos en el Caribe y la postura injerencista de la Casa Blanca. Destacaron que la única solución es el diálogo y el respeto a la soberanía de los países.
La política del presidente Trump desde los Estados Unidos es la reactivación de la doctrina Monroe, que significa en estos tiempos el dominio absoluto de los países de América Latina y el Caribe, algo trasnochado, algo inaceptable. La rechazamos 100%. Esto es una política agresiva de injerencia que afortunadamente los mayores países, la mayor cantidad de países del mundo ha rechazado porque es inaceptable. La inmensa mayoría de los venezolanos la estamos rechazando y queremos una vida armónica y de paz para el desarrollo de Venezuela, la justicia social y el encuentro de los venezolanos en diversidad. Yo creo que, como lo han planteado decenas de países, decenas de gobiernos, el diálogo es lo principal, es la vía que todos los venezolanos queremos, pero además el cese de la injerencia de los Estados Unidos debe ser inmediato.
Vicepresidenta Delcy Rodríguez le hace este recordatorio de que Venezuela no es ni será el Estado 51 de los Estados Unidos, porque aunque parezca mentira, es necesario insistir y recordarles que Venezuela es un país absolutamente soberano. Creo que estas operaciones militares y sobre todo toda la parafernalia desde el punto de vista comunicacional, toda la bulla comunicacional que han despertado en torno a sus pretensiones de realizar verdaderas operaciones militares contra el país, son parte de ese mismo discurso según el cual sobre todo están tratando de convencer al propio público estadounidense del supuesto derecho que tienen a, como dije anteriormente, dirigir los destinos de los países soberanos de nuestra América.
In one of the most dramatic turns in Brazilian politics since the January 8th attacks, Brazilian authorities arrested former President Jair Bolsonaro early Saturday morning, not because of his 27-year prison sentence was beginning, but because he was preparing to flee, authorities say. Since being convicted of attempted coup back in September, Bolsonaro has been under house arrest, but a midnight alert from his electronic ankle monitor triggered security teams to come inspect the device, and then Bolsonaro admitted on video that he had used a soldering iron to try to open it. That same night, his son, Senator Flavio Bolsonaro, called supporters together outside his father's home. The Supreme Court says that combination of the damaged ankle monitor and a politically motivated crowd suggested Bolsonaro may try to escape. In his ruling overnight, Justice Alexandre de Moraes even raised the possibility that Bolsonaro could attempt to reach the U.S. Embassy in Brasilia, noting its proximity and pointing out that some of Bolsonaro's allies in the same coup case had already left the country to avoid prison. Bolsonaro's lawyers insist that none of this adds up. They say the device was functioning normally, that the gathering was a prayer vigil, and that the arrest amounts to nothing more than political persecution. But Brazil's Attorney General agreed with police that the risk of escape was real, and around 6 a.m., police entered Bolsonaro's home and took him into custody. He's now being held in a special cell at the federal police headquarters. And then in Washington, President Trump, who was once one of Bolsonaro's closest international allies, said on Saturday he hadn't heard of the news of his arrest. And once he learned, he said that was too bad. It's a markedly different tone from just a few months ago when the same President Trump imposed a 50% tariff on a slew of Brazilian goods over what he called a witch hunt of a trial against Bolsonaro. Now, with or without support from the White House, Bolsonaro still has one appeal left before his 27-year sentence becomes final. What this preventative arrest does is it sends a clear message that Brazilian authorities are willing to act quickly and publicly when they believe democratic order is at risk. And it also highlights just how volatile the political landscape is in Brazil as the country moves towards the 2026 presidential elections.